Well, now the phony landlord who's almost succeeded in destroying a young Adelaide mum's business. He's locked her out, accused her of not paying rent, and even presented forged documents and leases to a court in an attempt to have her evicted. As Annalise Nielsen reports, he doesn't have any legal power to act, yet continues to thumb his nose at the law.
Why did you change the locks on this woman's property when you knew you didn't even have a real lease to begin with?
The judge actually found that all the documents he had forged.
This kind of situation is very rare in practice to come across.
Disputes with your landlord, they happen all the time.
So there was like leaking from the window and cracks in the floor. We've got walls that are pretty much got salt damp in it and are peeling away.
But what if you found out your landlord is a fraud? Why did you forge the lease, Gary? Just tell us that. That's exactly what happened to Loretta Santorelli.
Pretty much, yeah. He just thinks that he owns the place still, but he's still not even supposed to be on the property.
The young hairdresser started her Glenelg salon in 2011. The previous tenant put her in touch with this man, Gary Azam. He gave her a lease to sign with this woman, Kathy Cardis, listed as landlord.
I was just looking for something with good foot traffic, something that we could just build up and had a bit of a mixture of hair and beauty.
But a year later, Loretta received a call from her employees saying they'd been locked out.
When I said we're going away, and he came in and he just changed the locks on the salon, and I couldn't do much being overseas, so that's when I just had to get the lawyer, and the lawyer just went from there and had to go take him to court to get the keys back.
The man having the locks changed, Gary Azam. He lists his address with Miss Cardis, who has leased the premises from the owners of the property and then sublet it to Loretta.
He used to own the cafe next door, and then there's a lady that she used to own the hairdresser here.
To justify his actions, Azam also stuck up a sign accusing Loretta of owing him thousands of dollars in rent, which wasn't true.
Once we'd found all of that out, we started going through the contracts again properly and found out that I had paid over $12,500 rent too much.
Loretta was locked out for 2 weeks, losing income and customers.
How embarrassing is that for you?
Yeah, it is, and no one believes the story. Everyone just thinks, oh yeah, that I'm the one that's wrong.
It was when she went to court to get back her keys that the real story behind her lease started to unravel. Magistrate Simon Milazzo finding this lease Azam and Cardis had presented as evidence was in fact a forgery.
I come to this conclusion because the name and address of the lessor on the front page is in different typeface from the type portions of the rest of the page.
Here is the original lease. Note the name of the lessor. It's the company where Mr. Azam is the sole director, except he had no such arrangement with the owners, so it was illegal. So he produced this fake document showing Miss Cardis, not him, as the lessor. But what also tripped him up is the official government stamp on the back. Both leases have the same ID number, and that's impossible.
We're going to appeal that judgment, isn't it?
On what basis? You've appealed twice and the judge says that you have no grounds. Not only that, there were other phony documents that Azam produced claiming he had given Loretta extra floor space in return for more rent, when in actual fact it was already part of the original lease.
He's forged all of the documents and he shouldn't be allowed to just get away with it.
The court ordered Azam to allow Loretta back into her salon, but the peace didn't last and he was at it again.
He locked us out again, and that was for, I think, 11 days again. And I've lost a lot of clients from it, being locked out, like weekly clients. A lot of the weeklies are gone now because, they couldn't come in for those periods.
After yet another expensive trip to court, which again ruled in her favour, Azam still continued his harassment.
It was about 7 o'clock in the morning, came in, tried to change the locks again, but I was in here and I called the police out. Police said he's got no entitlements even to be on the property.
I've been asked to change the locks here.
Yeah, now Gary has no rights to this property.
Now $12,000 out of pocket in overpaid rent and more than $40,000 racked up in legal bills. The young mum says she's been pushed to the brink.
Gary, do you feel bad about what you've done? Loretta's lost money, she's lost clients. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Are you going to keep taking her back to court?
You heard what the magistrate said. It's not over yet.
Well, certainly this landlord wasn't, because he wasn't the owner of the building and had no other right to claim rent from the tenant. So certainly not to change locks and lock her out of her business.
Lawyer Tom Mead from Tyndall Gask Bentley says he's only seen one other case like it before.
Most tenants, I think, would assume that if somebody told them that they are the landlord and entitled to receive rent in relation to those premises, that they can trust that.
But a simple land title search could have saved Loretta a lot of grief.
And I guess that's why, rather than going it alone, it's much better to obtain that advice, so you've got somebody looking out for the problems that can arise in a landlord and tenant situation.
You'd think after all this, Azam, the phony landlord, would give up. But this week he and Cardis dragged the Santorellis back to court, this time over alleged rates and bills for the property.
Pretty much just got thrown out again. They just said Gary's not the landlord, he can't come in, can't lock us out, he can't act on anything. He's got no rights to anything.
The magistrate said you've brought this case a number of times and he keeps saying that you're in the wrong.
They brought the case, not us.
A bewildered Loretta believes Mr. Azam or Miss Cardis won't give up until they've forced her out. But she is staying put until her legitimate lease ends later this year.
It's really frustrating. It's so time consuming. All the lawyer fees just keep building up and just keeps going on. He's not learning his lesson, he just keeps doing it.
Do you feel bad at all? This woman's lost so much money on her business. She's lost clients who can't come back. Do you have anything to say for yourself?
These are all lies you've been feeding.